So as a little filler here, I still want to like to take a shout out to Justin Senekar. He's the regional manager here for our title sponsor, Nutrien Ag Products. Naturally, without sponsors like that, we couldn't have events like this.
And I have no problem shouting out Nutrien. They did a large part in sponsoring my junior career. I was always sporting Nutrien on the back of my uniforms.
Tim Tisdale was also here earlier. He's with Nutrien Ag Solutions as well, and he'd be the one up the ladder from Justin, I believe. So maybe after the game they can show me their appreciation for us.
Done a lot for sport around these communities, specifically curling.
Yeah, it wasn't many years ago when you looked around our curling rink. You can't see the whole rink from where you are, but there wasn't a lot of signs on the wall, and now we're running out of room.
It's a beautiful rink to play on, beautiful rink to view, to watch. You got the TVs upstairs to catch all angles of the ice. As this hit and roll is made by Korey Dropkin, going to nudge that shot rock over and sit directly behind that red in the top 8. A little bit of a discussion there. You wonder if somebody dropped something on the ice there. I didn't see exactly what happened.
Well, I thought they almost tapped the red rock a bit, so maybe it got broomed after contact or something. And
okay,
looks like it can be promoted to the yellow on the behind the tee line. I don't know if you can catch the first yellow or not, but they think maybe they can.
Might be another shot where they're just looking to, maybe throw some weight at something just as tight to the guard as you can. And it's been those kind of shots that have been the downfall of the Laycock team, at least this end. I'm not sure you can catch enough of that red to get the top yellow.
I don't think the top one, but for a setup, he could have one, onto the back yellow and maybe one in position to do something with on his last.
Sure. Well, a shot like that would also open up that shot rock yellow as well, depending on what Korey Dropkin does with his last stone.
Yeah, if Stephen put this in the right spot, you're right. With Korey Dropkin, he'll have a decision whether he's going to try and remove red and roll over on top to guard the one that will be open, or if he tries to guard and leave Steve the run in.
A lot of American viewers on YouTube today. Hello from up north. Thanks for joining us. Pleasure to welcome you inside the Swift Current Curling Club here. As Steve Laycock delivers his first to the 5th end. Late curl from Braden Grindheim. And he's going to catch just enough of that target red to sit for second shot. Looked like he might have hit that a bunch too thin.
Yeah, I would think so. He was hoping to save his shooter somewhere around just above the tee line, I would think.
And Korey Dropkin will be content to cover up that shot rock yellow. He's not too concerned about scoring a ton more, but preventing the Laycock team from scoring a bundle is as big of a victory at this point in the game. Entering the back half here and up by 3, scoring 5 unanswered.
And potentially leaving Steve with another one of those long corner runbacks.
Yeah, you can imagine he's eyeing something up now. So here's Korey Dropkin with his last rock in the 5th end, up by 3 without hammer. Looking to cover up this shot rock yellow with a tight guard. Holding out for a chance of his 3rd straight stolen end. It's coming in a bit deeper than they would have liked. It's going to sit right on top of that shot rock. Possibly for 2nd shot, I believe. What do you think, Clayton? Is that yellow too?
It's close. I can let you know a little better when my overhead TV shot. But I would think so, but it's not by much.
And it's going to be another angle run for the Steve Laycock team. They've got a lot they can catch here. There's a lot of rocks buried in that 4-foot. If he's close, he's going to hit something. But a long shot here.
He can even glance off his own.
That's true. So here it is, Steve Laycock. Last rock, 5th end, with the hammer, down by 3. Looking to make some yellows go away and sit in the 4-foot for a point here. Maybe 2 if he's lucky. And he'll make it for the single. He didn't glance off his own, but he did promote his own. 4-shot rock. It'll be a single for Steve Laycock. Make it 5-3 after 5 ends of play. Korey Dropkin from Duluth, Minnesota will have the hammer when we return, up by 2.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Welcome back inside the Innovation Credit Union iPlex in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. You're watching the World Curling Tour on curlingzone.com. It was a single for Steve Laycock to bring this game back within 2, but he did give up the hammer to do it. It's Korey Dropkin leading 5-3 as we play the 6th in this quarterfinal matchup. And there's double centers put up by the Steve Laycock team, not specifically where you'd like them, but they're there nonetheless. And cover has played an important part in the multiple steals, followed by a force by Korey Dropkin in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th ends.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the hammer was working well for Steve, so maybe getting rid of it, he can junk things up and have things go in his favor, but he's going to have to, or his team's going to have to make some shots to get him back into the steal position.
Sure. This is the lead Thomas Howell with his final rock here in the 6th.
I don't think Steve's in panic mode yet, but they really can't let Korey score anymore either.
No, I mean, he knows what's in front of him. You probably need a steal at this point in the game, no matter what. Whether it's this end or in the 8th, you're going to need a steal. It's not a blowout by any means, but you're going to need some solid ends here, and that one's going to slide just to the back button from Chris Heichert, and the Dropkin team will be content to start peeling here now. Much on the defensive at this point in the game. This is the American 2nd, Mark Fenner.
Stopper's been winning, or however you say it, and excuse me if I said it wrong, but he's been wearing a bunny hug. It covered up his name. Maybe that's what had you confused at the beginning.
That's what I'll blame it on, at least.
And the pronunciation. Couldn't see it all.
I think I've been saying it right now. I think we're good with Stopera. I think all the Americans in the chat will now be obligated to correct Clayton on his pronunciation of Andrew's last name.
I have trouble saying my own name sometimes.
Chris Heichert trying to replace the center guard here.
Give a shout out to the city of Swift Current too. You were talking before you've been here. It's a wonderful facility, and naturally the city was hugely involved in that, and over history, many years ago, relationship with the city was not at its best, but I think right now I don't know how we could get our relationship to be much better.
And that's wonderful to hear. Swift Current was always one of my favorite cities to travel to and play in when I was playing on the road. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a thing over there, but it always seemed to have the best weather in the province, in a part of the world where the weather always seems to be miserable. It seemed it would be hailstorms back at home, and I'd make the 3-hour trip to Swift Current, and it was sunny and beautiful over there.
Apparently, we should have you visit a lot more.
You guys got a golf course over there, so it's not out of the question.
Yeah, 2. Chinook and Elmwood.
I'm playing a bit of an employee for the Swift Current Tourism Board here.
Oh.
Trying to make a case. All the Americans down there, just a couple hours north of the North Dakota border.
I just had the pro in here from the Elmwood Golf Course. Maybe I can get you some passes.
Oof.
Back to the game.
They're just trying to replace the center guard again, maybe a bit tighter than they were before. Leave it a touch off the center line on the intern side. This is Andrew Stopera now. And he'll make the peel, no problem. Bit of a back and forth, run of the mill end. Nothing crazy happening yet until one of the teams decides to budge. We're playing a bit of cat and mouse here. And Steve Laycock will make the first move. Call is to corner freeze this top yellow, just sitting in the 8-foot there. Sean Meacham's first. It should be his second, sorry. Excuse me. And the audible will end up just being the center guard again.
Dropkin's not going to take the bait. He's going to peel.
No. Let the game come to you at this point if you're Dropkin.
He shook his head no. Korey had shook his head no just before they delivered the stone, so I don't know if his team asked him if we should be going around, and he just said the big no to peel and to peel. I'm guessing that's what was going on in it.
Well, Stopera was content to take what Korey gave him. Rebecca says, I've heard about miserable coldness in Saskatchewan. Not right now. It's been a beautiful December in the province of Saskatchewan this year.
Usually they say, but it's a dry cold. Whatever that means.
I don't know. It's been pretty crazy. Probably the warmest winter of my life. I'm only 22 years old. But everyone I talk to seems to bring up some year, either in the 80s or 90s, which was the last year they think it was this warm.
Yeah, it's definitely been warm.
Not quite Florida, but definitely a lot nicer than it normally is up here. Nice draw made by Steve Laycock, excuse me. Gets right on top for shot rock. And it is Laycock sitting 2, I believe.
Yep, I think so.
Unanimous there.
Without question.
And it's a full team discussion here from Korey Dropkin. They do have the hammer here in the 6th end.
I don't think the Laycock's rock that he just put there is going very far.
No, it was a pretty well-placed rock. They are going to be content to run this yellow fourth shot, back into the pile. Not a ton of bad that can happen to you here. Unless you hit this way thinner than you try to.
He's probably going to lose both yellows, but a blank isn't bad for Dropkin either.
So here it is. First rock here in the 6th end for Korey Dropkin of Duluth, Minnesota.
Oh, he didn't.
And he'll get a red to go.
Lost the shooter, though.
Sit just diagonal from that shot rock red. And his yellow will stick around in the back 4. It's Laycock still sitting 1, but Dropkin 2 and 3.
If the score was closer, you'd probably see a just off nose hit and get rid of both yellows, but I don't think Laycock's going to do that with the score the way it is.
It's also a bit tricky. It's not generally lined up perfect for that. You might spin your red out to the outturn side and
Yep.
Might lose it. Steve will want to make a play on this second shot yellow, though. Either way.
It's going to be pretty hard for Steve not to leave Dropkin a shot to get one at least.
That's true.
Even if he corner freezes on the front, Korey just has to hit it on the open side.
And at that point, giving up any points here is really either conceding that you need almost back-to-back steals to get yourself a win here, or a score of more than 2, which have both been both are kind of problem areas.
Yeah, you mentioned it
so far in
early.
this game.
You mentioned it earlier. Laycock's average points per game was up around that 7 or 8, and they're quite a ways from there right now.
Just below 9. They're at 8.9 points per game, I believe. 8.92. But they haven't been quite hitting that mark today.
Yeah. 3 and a 4-ender, and we're there.
That's true. Might be a big ask at this point in the game, but
might be.
Crazier things have happened. Steve Laycock's first. Or his second, sorry. And leaves it in a spot where that might be a double for 3 for Korey Dropkin.
Yeah, he can. I don't even think he has to get cute. Hit a half a stone, roll out.
Yeah, I don't think you even worry about this being a 3. I think a deuce really puts a stranglehold on this game either way. You might just be content making it and rolling out if that's what gets the job done. We'll see where it ends up for Korey Dropkin. So here it is. Last rock, 6th end for the skip from Duluth, Minnesota. Korey Dropkin looking to make 2 reds go away and hit a score of multiple here. It's Fenner on the sweep early. He makes 2 go away, loses his shooter, but it will be a deuce for the Dropkin rink. And
possibly some
7-3
discussion.
lead. Some discussion from the Laycock team, but it seems that they will play on.
Yeah, or hesitation, maybe not discussion.
A little bit, but either way, a 7-3 lead for the Dropkin team. And we will return shortly for the 7th end of play.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea? Great idea. Let's talk more about next year. I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back to Swift Current Saskatchewan. You're watching the World Curling Tour on curlingzone.com. And it's the first playoff draw of the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. We're seeing a bit of a discussion. It looks like whether this center guard is touching the center line or not. And unlike a biter, you can't really measure that. There's no stick to measure that for sure.
But I thought, and I'm not a pro at it by any chance, but I thought the rules would say clearly, and so if they can't tell, then it's not, then it must be touching. Is my own personal view on it.
We'll see. I've never actually played at any level myself with the no-tick rule.
Well,
I'm taking a bit of a step back from the competitive game myself.
I think it would be similar to the hog line.
Either way, they're going to nick their own yellow off the center line, split them both into the rings. And early, it is Dropkin sitting 2. The rings split. Again, it was a deuce for Korey Dropkin. In the 6th end, no handshakes yet in any game on the ice so far. We still got a full sheet. And then here comes the second center guard. And this one is definitely not going to touch the center line. But Stopera will be content to just come around it anyway. Hello to 215 viewers on YouTube. Kate, the score is 7-3. Wonderful to see all the American fans watching this game here. I hope you're enjoying it, and we assume you are with the way that Korey Dropkin's been playing this evening. They're going to come right around those 2 reds. Sit just full 4, maybe a nibble of the button. And Steve Laycock will try and come right on top of it. It was an opening deuce for the Laycock team, but they've been outscored 6-1 since the first end. And now trail this one. Sorry, 7-1, sorry. And now trail this one 7-3. And this draw from Chris Eichert is going to come right down to that yellow shot rock. Bumps it maybe a couple inches. Nothing too worrisome, as the Dropkin team will now commence peeling. And this can be a real put-away end for the Dropkin team if they're able to hold Steve Laycock from scoring his deuce. A steal probably puts it away. of force. You almost think about it as well. The steal of 3 is pretty far out of the question for any team in this field.
They were talking a bit earlier about what kind of mix would end up in the final 8, and they were a little worried it would get off balance, but I just took a quick look at it. We've got 4 Canadian teams, 2 from Saskatchewan, 1 from BC, and 1 from Manitoba. And then we got 2 from Switzerland, 1 from Scotland, and 1 from US. So we've spread it out pretty good.
Sweden and the US, I think. Nicholas Adine sits in the playoffs. I don't believe there were any Scottish teams on the men's side, unless I am mistaken.
It was another performance by Adine with 3 curlers for most of the week.
Yeah, we were talking about that on Wednesday night, calling the Fujisawa game. Speaking on a couple teams that have done exceptionally well playing with 3 teams, Fujisawa obviously being one of them. And Nicholas Adine came up in that conversation, obviously.
And it doesn't seem to matter which one of them's missing.
No, they're a very well-rounded team. And that's a team that sort of just eats up all of the development around Swedish curling. You know, you talk about why there hasn't been a team to really challenge Nicholas Adine for so long. It's because there have been young teams coming up through Sweden, and Nicholas Adine has basically absorbed them. Oscar Eriksson was one of those teams that was thought at the time maybe to challenge Nicholas Adine when he gets out of the junior ranks, and instead of that, he decided to join Nicholas Adine.
So we have a final on sheet 1. Hulaman has defeated Holland.
And that will spell the end of the week for Amber Holland. Had the pleasure of calling her final round robin game against Sarah Anderson of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sarah Anderson played alongside Korey Dropkin at the 2012 Winter Youth Olympics. As Team USA, no doubt. Steve Laycock's going to go back line here, try and... Not sure where he's looking to put this one specifically. It looked like he had gestured back 8, back 12 weight to Sean Meacham. We'll see where this one ends up. And it's Grinheim on it early. He's going to have sliding right between those two there, all the way to the back 12 and maybe through, and it will slide all the way through the rings. And Korey Dropkin can go ahead and hit that lone red in the rings there, and you think Steve Laycock's night may be coming to a close shortly.
He needs to hide the rest of his stones.
This is Andrew Stopera. On it early for Curl. Getting by that red just above the rings and sits right on top of where that red shot rock was. Dropkin sitting 3 as Sean Meacham's about to throw his last rock of the 7th end. Trailing by 4. Looks like they need to go on this one a bit for weight. They'll freeze right on top, though. Nice throw by Sean Meacham. Trying to create something for his team, and Dropkin is going to try and just pick this off sideways, I believe, Clayton.
Yeah. He's going to make contact with something, even if he hits, even if he hits the higher one, it's going to open up and he can blast away.
Dropkin not terribly concerned about having rocks in the rings. Might be worse for Dropkin to maybe just nudge this yellow shot rock into the back of the house. He might be better off just hitting a thick quarter of this red and losing his back one as well. You ever wonder what the thought is there? He's looking like he's a little thin on it. He'll pick it right off the face. Pretty surgical there from Korey Dropkin. And it's the Americans sitting 3 once again, as we're into skip stones here in the 7th end. And Steve Laycock will look to come on the wide in-turn draw around that red guard just short of the rings.
Probably looking at back 4, maybe a little deeper.
Yeah, make this short run a little bit tougher on Korey Dropkin. It is there no matter where you put this for shot rock, really. And there's Sean Meacham motioning where he'd like that rock.
Yeah, Steve is actually calling instructions on the other end, so I think it was Steve's idea of thinking about that, but looks like they're going back to the original. More ice, though, so maybe he is going to try to park it right beside the yellow. It's a top 4 foot.
So Steve's first shot in the 7th end. He's trailing by 4, trying to score at least a deuce here to keep himself alive in this game. Eichert and Grindham hit it now. And they'll fall just even with the yellow shot rock. It will still be Korey Dropkin sitting the 1. He's going to throw the out-turn draw. Maybe try to promote this yellow just a touch.
I believe so, yeah.
Just to the button, it looks like, is the call by Stapera.
Don't know if you can see it, but when they're sitting in the hack, there's also a RBC Wealth Management logo there. They fed everybody a whole bunch of pizza and live band last night. Compliments of RBC Dominion.
Beautiful. He'll nudge that yellow shot rock forward and roll over to the 4 foot, just maybe a ½ inch outside the 4 foot, but it's good enough to sit 2. And you think Steve's going to take on this thin double for 2. You'd think that's the call. He was hoping all in for a shot for 2, and there it is.
That's thin.
Yeah, it's extremely thin.
Then does the top one even go?
You do wonder if it just rubs off the back of that 3rd shot red and sticks around in the 4-foot. You got to be thinking Steve's throwing some weight at this.
And you have to try it.
Absolutely. So here it is. Steve Laycock throwing his final rock in the 7th with hammer. He trails by 4, trying to get his team back into the game here with a thin double. Here it comes. Greenheim on the sweep now. Off and on. Starting to curl now. He's going to make the double, but roll his shooter out of play. And it'll only be a single for Steve Laycock. And that's handshakes from sheet number 2. Korey Dropkin will book his ticket to the semifinal tomorrow. And Steve Laycock will finish with a quarterfinal exit here at their hometown event at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Make the final. 7-4. Korey Dropkin of Duluth, Minnesota picks up the win. We will be back with you covering the quarterfinals at 9 a.m. Until then, thanks for coming out and watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you again next time.
Thanks, Josh.
We feed the world with Nutrien, and a large portion of what our job is to get fertilizer out with the carriers so they can get directed to the farms or to the different retail locations. We know that if we don't have the answer to something, we're not afraid to reach out because we have support from everyone. We've got a really good team behind us.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.